You'll hear a lot of marketers talk to you about why you need a list. They'll say you've got to have one, you've got to go and get a list, it's important, build a list on every website. But a list is a valuable resource, and you may not realise why they tell you to build a list. And this whole program is all about how you can build a list. And we're going to show you why you need a list and what it's going to do for you. And perhaps most importantly, we will show you how you can build that list. We're going to show you practical techniques. Now, a list is a very valuable bonus. It's something that you can use to earn money. Now think about it with a list. What happens? You send an email out. What's in that email? Usually an offer. What happens then? They send, click on the link and they buy. You earn money. So a list is a very, very valuable resource. It's a great way for you to earn some extra money. Now, a lot of marketers will tell you they actually make more money from their list than they actually do from product sales. So that's quite something. And if you've got a good list, you can earn a full-time living from it. It's quite significant, I think I'd say, what you can do with a good list. So I'm a big, big fan myself of building lists because I know that with those lists I can tap into money that I would not otherwise have. It's a way to convert people that come to your site, look at your offer, decide it's not quite for them then, but it might be later on. So what they do is they sign up to your list, you sell them through your autoresponder, and what happens? They buy. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant the way this works, and it's well worth building one. There's, quite seriously, if you had a good list of even a few thousand or tens of thousands, you could earn thousands and thousands of dollars from an email. If you're sending out an email to 10,000 people and you earn $100 per commission, or say $50 commission per purchase, and you get just 1% of that list buying, that's a good amount of money. Now, if you've got a good list and you've really worked with them and you've got a good relationship with them, there's no reason why that figure can't be significantly higher than that. There are people that get sort of 10 and even 20% of their list to buy and to make money from it. So realistically, this is something we want to do. Having a list is like having your own ATM online. You send an email, money comes into your account. It's brilliant. And if you don't have a list, you are missing out on a ton of money in your chosen niches. So I think it's very, very important that you get yourself lists and you make sure you build them. This ability to literally earn on demand is very, very valuable, and it means if a new product comes into your niche, you can be one of the first to promote it and one of the first to also earn from it. And that really is, again, one of the big benefits. If you have a list in the internet marketing niche and there's a big product launch, you can promote that to your list and you can earn from it. And lots of marketers earn an awful lot of money from doing this sort of thing. And of course, it's not just new products that you could offer and promote. You could promote affiliate programs, Amazon products, CPA offers, and anything like that. There's plenty of things that you could promote and you could offer to your list. Now, of course, you've got to be careful with them. You've got to work with them. You've got to qualify the offers to make sure that they are decent quality. The last thing you want is to alienate your list by throwing poor quality products at them. You'll see your open rate go down, your unsubscribe rate go up, and you'll lose that relationship you built with them. But there's lots and lots of things you can promote with that list, and as you go through this program, so you'll understand more about how to work with them. Now, literally, you can build a list in almost every niche you work in. Now, some niches you've got to sort of think, is it worthwhile building a list? For example, if I was promoting an LCD TV, I may not build a list in that niche. Why? Because when someone's bought their LCD TV, are they going to buy another one? No, not really. Now, you could argue that I could build that list and I could market Blu-ray players, home cinema systems, etc., etc. to them, but you have to think, are they likely to buy? Things like that aren't things that people buy. Same if I had a website promoting, say, Rolex watches. Would I build a list of it? Again, not really, because you think about it, a Rolex watch is one of those things you're going to buy or you're not going to buy. You're not going to be persuaded by somebody sending you some emails going, hey, Rolexes are really good, because you already know they're really good. That's why you're there, because you want to buy one. You're looking for information to help affirm that decision or find the best price or model. So some niches it's not going to be appropriate to build a list, but in most of them it is. And it's a big, big benefit to you, obviously, if you can build a list, because it's going to help you to make an awful lot more money. Now, when you're working with your list, you've got to make sure that you only send useful information to them. If my niche is in dog training, there's no point me promoting them LCD TVs or cat food or anything like that. Make sure the information you work with your list is relevant to them. Because if you do that, then you're going to get a much higher click-through rate, you're going to get a better relationship. So, thinking about that with your list is really, really going to help you. But if you start promoting irrelevant products, you're going to see unsubscribe rates go up, you're going to see your open rate go down, and you're going to find that people are going to hit the spam button, and your list just isn't going to work for you. Working with a list takes some time, but if you do it and you do it properly, it can benefit you significantly, as you'll find out as we go through this program. Now, if you use a autoresponder like GetResponse or Aweber, then you can do things like split test different emails. So I could send one offer to half my list and another offer to the other half. And that's very powerful for me, because that means I can obviously see which converts the best, which is obviously a very good thing. So testing different products and whatever, you'll find out what your list responds to. So for example, I might find that my dog training list, they're keen on buying dog collars, but they don't want to buy dog beds. And once you start to understand what your list will and will not buy, so you can find offers that are suitable for them, which obviously is going to further help you to make sales. If you can build a good relationship with your list, you can start to interact with them a lot more. You can get testimonials, you can get feedback, you can ask them questions, you can poll them, you can use the information from them in order to help you to build your knowledge of the market and understand what they want. And when it comes to creating products or finding products to promote, that information really is invaluable for you. Now, a list is a very, very important part of marketing. It really, really is. If you're an internet marketer and you're promoting websites and you are not building lists, you are leaving an awful lot of money on the table. You can guarantee you can probably double or triple your income from your website if you can build a list and work with them. There's a significant amount of money to be made here if you're willing to do the work. Now, a lot of people aren't, and so they miss out. But if you will do this, you're going to find that you're going to get a great response from them. So make sure that whatever market you're in, if it's appropriate, you build a list. You work with that list, you build a good relationship, which we'll talk about in forthcoming videos, and from that, you're going to find you're going to be able to really start to make some serious cash online. Okay, so let's talk about how you work with a list. Now, this is probably one of the most important videos in this program, because if you can work well with your list, then you're going to see a much higher click-through rate and a much higher conversion rate. If you haven't got a relationship with your list, they're not going to open your emails, they're not going to care if they hit the spam button, they're not going to interact with you. A list is a very, very valuable resource. Through a list, you can survey your target market, you can sell products, and you can even use their knowledge and their questions to help you build targeted products for that niche. But the thing is if you haven't got a good relationship with them, you'll struggle to sell to them, because people buy from people they like. Now, you're an internet marketer. Think about the lists that you're on. Of the probably dozens of lists that you are on, how many of those do you actually read? And I'm willing to bet it's probably only one or two. You might read some of the others occasionally if the subject line grabs your attention. But in most cases, I'm willing to bet there's probably only one or two emails that you receive that you read regularly i.e. 4 or 5 times a week, or 4 or 5 out of sort of 7 or 8. Most of them you probably ignore and just delete, and that's the way it works. They haven't built a relationship with you. You don't know them, you don't care about them, so you don't care about their emails. But once you start to build these relationships with people, so you can therefore start to sell to them, you'll find you get a much higher open rate, you get a much higher click-through rate, and your lists are much more responsive and will buy more things that you recommend. A good relationship will significantly increase your conversion rates. It can take the money you earn from your list from something that buys you a few cups of coffee and a newspaper each month to something that gives you a full-time income. I know people with relatively small lists, we're only talking sort of 20 to 25,000 people, that make a very, very good full-time income from it because they have built that relationship with them. If you have that good relationship, you're going to find it's a lot easier for you to sell to them because you're going to make a lot more money from it. They're going to trust you, they're going to know you, and they're going to want to buy from you because you have that relationship. And part of building that relationship is to balance content and sales messages. Think back to those emails that you regularly open from certain marketers. Are they sell, or are they good quality content and the occasional sale? Which are they? Look at which ones are working for you and you'll have an idea what works on most people. Most people hate being sold to. And you think about the number of lists you are on, and I know I'm exactly the same. I've got loads and loads of lists that I'm on that purely sales messages, and there's only one reason I'm on them, and that's to see what the competitors are up to. I'm not in the slightest bit interested in the content, because most of the time it's garbage, and I'm getting it from 4 or 5 other people anyway. Usually the same copy and paste affiliate emails. But what I really like is there's 2 marketers that I read their emails literally every single time, and I actually miss one of them if it doesn't arrive, and I've a few times gone to look for it and sort of said, hey, what's happened, is everything alright? And these are the ones that have very good quality content and very trustable sales messages. These are people that review the products and test them before they promote them, so I know that they're not going to promote anything that is just junk. They're going to promote me stuff that works, and that I think is really important. If you are trying to really build a relationship with the list, it's a lot easier with handwritten messages. You can use sort of pre-populated autoresponder messages, but typically sending out a message once or twice a week by hand tends to get a better relationship because you can be more current with them. If they've signed up to your autoresponder sequence and you're sending out messages about how it's a nice summer's day and it's the middle of winter, it just doesn't work. So you really do need to write those handwritten messages. Now, of course, in a lot of niches that isn't going to be possible. You're not going to want to do it because if I'm in a dozen niches, I don't want to be writing a couple of dozen emails a week to those people. So what I tend to do is, on the niches where it's important I build a relationship, I will write handwritten messages to them. On the other niches, typically for my niche sites where I'm building lists, what I'll do is there'll be autoresponder sequences with the occasional handwritten message. Preloaded messages are useful. They're great for niche sites. So if I'm selling LCD TVs and I'm building a list, I don't want to be writing handwritten messages. I can preload an autoresponder with a series on how to buy the best LCD TV for you, for example, and it will go and sell to them. And then what I can do is I can mail the list when there's new developments in the market. I can sort of say, right, I found this really good offer. You can get this TV and it's a massive discount. That sort of thing to people. What you need to do with your list is establish yourself as the expert. You're the go-to person in that list. You don't want to sort of go, oh, my mate's shown me this great product, it's really good for you, you ought to check it out. You want to talk as if you are the expert. You need to be the authority figure because that's how they will trust you. They don't want to buy from someone that's clueless. They want to buy from somebody who knows what they're doing. And if you're that expert in the field, then they want to learn from you, and that's where you need to position yourself. So if you're writing your autoresponder messages and you don't know a lot about the list, or the niche I should say, then you need to really become an expert in it, or at least an expert enough to convince people in your emails that you are an expert. The other temptation is to be unprofessional with your subscribers. Now, honestly, it's very easy. There are some real weirdos out there. Honestly, there's some right nut jobs. Once you start to build the list, you'll get peculiar emails. I've had some very, very odd ones, including people having a go at me for sending them emails. I've had people criticising what I've done, people trying to pick arguments and so on. But you just have to be professional. Remember, you don't have to reply. You can ignore them, and you can even unsubscribe and block them yourself. But always remain professional. You are the authority figure. You are a professional. And if you choose not to act in that way, then it will reflect badly upon you, and it will damage you as the so-called expert in that niche. I know sometimes it's very tempting to rise to the bait and really let rip at someone, but you have to be professional at all times. It's your professional reputation at stake, and if you damage that, it can be very difficult to bring it back again. Now, here's a fact of life. People are going to unsubscribe. It's going to happen. You know, the first time it happens, you might get a bit upset. After sort of 20, 30, 40 people unsubscribing, you're going to go, yeah, who cares? Which is fair enough. But the thing is a lot of people sweat about the unsubscribes. They get really worried and nervous and upset. And frankly, don't take it personally. People might have what they want. They might have bought their LCTV and not want to be on the list anymore. They might not be interested in what you write. They might have other things going on in their lives, whatever it might be. Don't worry about it. Just keep funneling people into the list. People are always going to unsubscribe. And so long as you can bring in more people than are unsubscribing, your list will continue to grow and be of value to you. Remember, people's lives change and they change their requirements. Now, the one point where this isn't true is when you are sending out autoresponder messages. If one of your messages suddenly triggers a mass unsubscribe, go and look at that message very, very carefully, because you've done something in it that's really annoyed people. So go and have a look, find out, and don't repeat the mistake. If it's in an autoresponder sequence, then change it and stop it from annoying everyone. Now, the other thing, particularly in internet marketing, it's not perhaps so much in other niches. In internet marketing, it's tempted to jump on the bandwagons. I mean, let's face it, how many big product launches and must-have, push-button, work-in-your-underpants sort of products are there out there on the market? Well, not very many, to be honest, but you know, there's many that are hyped as that. So if you're going to jump on every bandwagon and email your list to death, they're going to get annoyed. They're going to get fed up because they don't want to be just sold to. They want information. If you stop before you sell them products, and you go and evaluate it, you go and check it out, make sure it's a decent quality product, then they will buy, because you've reviewed it and you can go, yes, this is a good match for my list. Or you might go, well, actually, no, I don't like that. That's a really, really bad product. And so you will find that if you do this, your lists are going to trust you. You're going to build that relationship with them, because they know that if you say something's good, it is good. And likewise, one of the marketers' lists I'm on, he does exactly this. And every time he promotes a product, he gets a huge uptake on it. I know from personal experience where we've marketed the product between us. I've created a product and he's marketed it to his list. In a day, it brought in close to $6,000 from his list, and his list isn't that big. It's only about 18,000, I think it was at the time. So he didn't have a large list, and it brought in about $6,000, which is on a $47 product. That's not bad. That was $3,000 each in the end in our pocket. So, you know, if you build that trust with them and they know that the products you recommend are good, then they will buy. So it's always worth doing. It is tempting to jump on bandwagons, but at the end of the day, it's going to cause you more problems than it's worth, because your list are going to start to not trust you. They're going to look at you and think, why are you marketing me this rubbish? And you'll get your unsubscribe rate will go up, your open rate will go down. People will be happier to hit the spam button or just delete your message, which pretty much does the same thing. Now, there are people out there that sell pre-written emails. Now, these are okay, but the problem is other people have bought them. Other people are using them. If you're marketing in a niche that you don't really care about, great, use them. But you think about this. If somebody's looking for information and signing up to lists in a niche, they may well have signed up to someone else's niche who's already using those emails. If they're getting the same emails, what are they going to do? They're going to delete one. If you're not the first person that they got the messages from, or the person they feel they trust the most, yours will be the one that gets deleted. It's much better to write your own. Now, the pre-written ones can be good inspiration, but they tend to be quite short. The quality isn't always as good as you want to, and of course there's no personality in them. They're deliberately plain and neutral. So do think about this and think about whether or not you want to use them. I personally wouldn't. I would use them as inspiration and write something around them, but I would prefer to write my own, simply because I know that then I've got quality messages that will build a relationship with my list, and it will help me to make more money from them at the end of the day. Sure, you can use the pre-written emails, but you're going to find that your conversion rate is going to be poor, your unsubscribe rate is probably going to be high, and the list isn't going to perform as good as it could do. And that leads me into another key. Talk about yourself. Have a personality. You know, think about people like the rich jerk. He had a very abrasive personality, admittedly, but he made a lot of money. He got a lot of attention, and people enjoyed his emails. And if you have that personality and you talk about yourself, it really works. Now, don't use your list as unpaid therapists. You know, I don't mean talk about yourself like that. I mean talk about what's been going on. You know, oh yes, I went to see the latest whatever movie, and this is, you know, I thought it was really good. Or, you know, you talk about what's happening in your life. I've replaced the doorknobs on my house, and it took me 6 weeks to find the right doorknobs. You know, just talk to them, tell them a few stories, give them personality so they get to know you and think of you as a real person. And that's going to help you a lot, because people are going to, you know, like to look into people's lives. And if your email gives them that sort of insight into your life, that voyeuristic insight, the one that has made reality TV shows so very popular, then you're going to find your open rate goes up, because people are going to feel that they know you. They're going to feel that you're someone that they can trust, someone that they do know. So how do you work with them? What else do you need to do? Well, you've got to train them. You know, a list, just like a dog, needs training. You've got to train them what to expect from your email. So if you send them lots and lots of emails where you're not selling anything, and then suddenly you send them an email the way you're selling something, you expect them to fall off the chairs. They're going to be shocked. They're not going to be happy, but they're going to be shocked. So don't do that. Train them to expect to be sold to. Sell to them in every single email. Might not have to be a hard sell, but certainly recommend products to them. Make sure they know that you're going to sell to them. If you never sell to them and you try to, they're going to go loopy. You know, it just doesn't work. Lists get complacent. They think, oh, yeah, nice information, like the information. Sales message. And they don't want anything to do with it. Always sell to them. Every email needs to have a sales message in. And if you can do that, then you're going to find that it's going to really, really help you. If you sell to them regularly, they will respond to it. The thing is a lot of people will send irregular messages to their list. They'll send one today, and then one in a couple of weeks, and one a month later, and then might send a message every day for the next few days, and then they'll stop again for a little while, blah, blah, blah. It's got to be regular. You know, if it's regular, they know where they are, you know where you are. You're training them, you condition them that on a Thursday your email arrives, and that's it. They've got to look out for it because it's got great information in it, and that's what you want. They will look out for it, and if on Friday it's not there, you can guarantee if you've built that sort of relationship with your list, a fair few of them will be knocking on your door going, hey, where's my email? It's not arrived. So, you know, sell to them regularly, and they'll respond to it, which obviously means more money in your pocket. But it's about getting that balance between information and hard sales right. Soft sales should be in every email, but once every sort of 3, 4, 5 emails, depending upon your list and your relationship with them, you can get away with a hard sell, and it will work quite nicely. So just have a think about that and how best you can do it. It varies for every niche and every list. It depends upon the quality of the relationship you've built with them. If you've not built a good enough quality relationship, then you'll struggle with a hard sell. So just balance it out, and you'll find that you do okay. Like I said earlier on, if you're constantly selling to your list, they're going to hate you. Think about the marketers that send you sales message after sales message after sales message after sales message, particularly when most of them are copy and paste affiliate messages. Do you open them? Do you read them? Do you care? No, you don't. So constant selling puts your subscribers off. And particularly if you're using these copy and paste messages, it just goes to show that you're too lazy to write something. Particularly, again, in internet marketing, people think they're lazy, they can't be bothered writing to me, they just see me as a wallet to bleed dry. And you'll find that if you do that, your open rate is going to be dreadful. and so is your conversion rate. But one thing that does work, and this is quite funny, is if you use their emails in the subject line and within the email, so it's dear and then their name, or hi and then their name, and you can use their name in the email itself, it's going to impress them. Now, internet marketers, we're a jaded, cynical bunch, and we all know, oh, that's an autoresponder, you do that by this form. But people outside of internet marketing, they don't know. They think it's magic, literally. I've had people come up to me and have a go at me for sending them emails. And it's like, well, I've not been sending you emails. I've met them at conferences and things like that. I'm saying, I haven't sent you any emails. I don't even know who you are. Why have I sent you emails? They go, you send me an email every week. I was like, I don't send you an email every week. And I go, you do. You send it to me. It's individually addressed to me. You call me by name. It's like, I don't know who you are. And then I work out they're on my list. And I've been emailing them. And of course, I've got no idea who's on my list. There's hundreds and thousands of people on the lists. I don't know. But because I'm addressing it by their name, they think I'm writing to them individually. And it's quite funny, actually, when it happens in the end. But people can get quite offended by it. So it does genuinely impress people who don't have that knowledge of internet marketing. And I think that's really, really important for us to remember. Is that, yes, we may be a jaded and cynical bunch that know all about this. But for a lot of people out there, what we do here with this list is pretty much tantamount to voodoo. They don't know how it works, and it's like magic. How do I send them this email every week with their name in it? I must know them. I must care about them. And of course, that's part of building this relationship with them. One thing you do need to do is you've got to concentrate on the subject line. The subject line needs to intrigue them enough to open it up, but it has to remain truthful. And that's where a lot of marketers fall down. Several years ago, there's a big phase where marketers went through sending emails with subject lines that were frankly big fat lies. It's like, hey, you've got a commission check and things like that. The unsubscribe rate went through the roof. The open rate was high, but the unsubscribe rate and the damage to the relationship was significant. Lying like that in the subject line is going to harm your relationship, because let's face it, people are there, saying internet marketing, people are there to make money. If you send an email that makes it look like they've earned money, then they open it up and they realise it's a sales pitch, how annoyed are they going to be? They're not going to be happy when they think, oh great, I made the commission, I'm really excited, and they see that it's you trying to sell them something. They're going to want to rip your head off. It's just the way it goes. So you want to intrigue them, make them think, oh, I'm interested, I'd like to open this, what's it going to tell me? But don't lie. If you lie, you're going to lose them, and that's not what you want. Now, working with your list takes some time. It's going to take effort on your part. It's going to take a bit of experimentation to work out what your list wants. It's going to take a while to build that relationship with them. Don't expect them to instantly embrace you as their best friend overnight. You've got to build that trust up. It can take weeks or even months to do so. But if you make the effort to do that, you'll find your conversion rate and your open rate will go through the roof. And obviously that has a direct impact on the amount of money you can earn from your list. The more people you have on your list, the better your relationship is, the better you will earn. The people who have the best relationships with their list are the ones that earn the most money. I would rather have a small list of 1,000 people which I have a solid relationship with than have a list of 100,000 people that I have no relationship with in. The smaller list there will massively outperform the larger list at all times. So that's the key. The key to making serious money from your list is to build that relationship. If you can do that, you can't fail to earn from your list. Now, when it comes to picking an autoresponder, you have a lot to choose from. Now, there's two big ones which we'll look at in a minute, but there's plenty of smaller ones. And there's a few things you need to weigh up when you consider an autoresponder. You've got to weigh up longevity. Is it going to be around in a year's time? Is it going to be around in 5 years' time? Some of the smaller startups have done really well. They've grabbed a load of attention, but then they failed for whatever reason. And it means that the people who built their list on them have then lost their lists or been unable to transfer them in some cases. So you have to consider that. You also have to consider deliverability. At the end of the day, the key to succeeding with having a list is actually getting those emails delivered. If those emails are not arriving, then let's face it, it's a waste of your time and money. You need to make sure that you get your emails delivered. Not just delivered, but in the inbox and not in the spam box. And that is very, very important. It's one thing where some of the smaller autoresponders struggle with. Now, the bigger ones, like the two I'm going to show you, they have a very high level of deliverability because they work with the email companies like Yahoo and Hotmail and so on in order to make sure that their messages get delivered. They have very, very strict and very strictly enforced anti-spam laws. They ensure that you use double opt-in most of the time and so on. So basically they make sure that you build a genuine list, and this gives them the ability to turn around to people like Hotmail and say, look, our emails are good, you can trust ours because, and the companies would agree. So there's two of these companies that you can use, and both of them are pretty much the same, to be perfectly honest. There's a few differences, but at the end of the day it comes down to personal opinion. Now the first I want to show you is Aweber. Aweber is very powerful. It's been around for a long, long time. I don't think it tells you on here exactly when it started. 1998 it appeared. So we know that Aweber isn't going to disappear anytime soon. It's got thousands and thousands of people using it. Literally, it's incredible. It's so well used. There you are, over 100,000 people using it. But the thing is it has very good rates of deliverability. It's pretty easy to use, and of course it has a $1 trial. Now the pricing again on both of these is very similar, and you can see here that gives you an idea of the pricing for the first month. For up to 500, first month it's $1, and then it's $19 a month for up to 500 subscribers. And you can see here as it goes up, so your price increases. So it's an extra $10 a month for up to 2,500, and then it's extra $30 a month up to 5,000, and so on. So again, you can see exactly how much it is there. The other big one is Get Response, and again, very similar. You can have a 30-day free trial with this one. So if you really don't want to spend any money, then you can have a 30-day trial and see what you think about it. It tells you here some of the people that are using it. It integrates obviously with everything, just like Aweber does. And the pricing, funnily enough, is pretty much the same, as you'll see. It's a bit lower now, so this is interesting. Aweber, Get Response always used to be more similar price to Aweber, but they've obviously decided that they're going to lower their prices in order to compete on a slightly different way. So £12 a month, that works out at, if I just change that, that works out at probably close to, in fact, very similar, I think. Let's just double check, see if I see US. I was still insisting on showing me the United Kingdom prices. That's a shame. So I think £12 is round about $19. So actually, it's very similar. But with Aweber, it's up to 500 is $19, whereas here $19 is up to 1,000. That's going to be sort of closer to $30. If we look here, $30 gets you up to 2,500. Similar, up to 10,000 is £54. So you're probably talking about $70–80. So up to 10,000 is $50 here. So there is a bit of difference in the pricing, but at the end of the day, they're going to be very, very similar. They're similar in features and so on. There's very, very little differences. I know people are going to pull me up on that and say, oh, there's all these sorts of differences. And yeah, there are differences at the end of the day. And you can click on the features and have a look. But ultimately, they pretty much do the same thing. They deliver emails, which is what you want them to do. So whichever you decide to pick, it's entirely up to you. Now, like I said, you can look at the smaller ones, but the smaller ones don't tend to be around so long. The other problem with the smaller ones is also deliverability tends to be a lot worse, which impacts your business significantly because it means you're not making the money from it. So sit down and think about which one of these you prefer. Have the free trial on both of them. Have a go on the interface. Create an email. See what you think. If you don't like him, cancel it. And you've not lost anything. You lost $1 in the case of this. You know, that's fine. But you get a money back guarantee. So if you don't like it, you can get your $1 back. But it's worth just having to go with both of them and just seeing which you feel is the better one for yourself. Like I said, I've used both. Both are good. Both are very, very good. There's lots of similarities. There are a few differences, but ultimately it's a personal choice. But you need to pick an autoresponder. Whichever one of these two you decide to pick is entirely up to you. But you need a good quality, reliable autoresponder. If you cannot get the deliverability through to the inbox, it's going to dramatically reduce the effectiveness of your list, and it's going to impact the amount you can earn from it. So let's talk a little bit about writing emails that are going to get clicks. At the end of the day, you make money from your emails when somebody clicks on them. You don't make money if somebody just reads it. That's fine. They can read your email. You haven't earned a penny. When they click on it, that's when you start to earn. So how do you get the clicks? Well, the first step is you have to get them to open it. How do you do that? You need a headline. You need a title that grabs their attention. Now, having their name in the header always helps. If you just got a title that says learn how to make money online, that's not going to get an awful lot of attention. If you had a title that said John, say that's your name, you can learn how to make money online. That's a lot more personal and it's going to get a lot more attention. If we capitalise the first letters of each word, that also gets a lot more attention. You can see how this is starting to look a lot more attractive to someone now. So if we look at this now, you can see that as a headline to an email is suddenly looking a lot better. You can look at that and you can think, well, yeah, that I'm interested in that, you know. Or it could be, John, are you ready to shed that extra weight yet? Or Jane, are you fed up of your puppy leaving presents on your carpet? That sort of thing. What they're doing is you're writing a headline, and like a headline on a sales letter, it's got to grab their attention and fire their interest. They need to be able to look at it and go, well, yeah, I am actually, yeah. I am fed up of my puppy leaving presents on the carpet. Yeah, do you know what? That extra weight's bothering me. I want to get rid of it. And so on. You need to communicate with them and get them to open the email. Once you've got them to open the email, you can then concentrate on getting them to click through. Now, in the email, what you are doing is you're focusing on one thing. You're focusing on the click. The important thing in your email is the click. That's what we're after. We want them to click on your link and come through to your web page. That's how you get them to buy. So you don't tend to directly sell in an email unless you are sending them directly to like a checkout. If I was marketing a product, what I would do is I would talk about the product and I would then really sort of sell them on clicking through to find out more. So I wouldn't try and sell the product. I'd overcome some of their objections. So for example, this one here, are you ready to shed that extra weight? I might talk about the fact that you got a bit of extra weight. I know dieting's tough. It's not fun. Nobody likes it. It's boring. You know, you get to eat all food you don't like and you can't eat the stuff you really do like, blah, blah, blah. So what I could do in the email is I could pre-sell them and overcome those objections by saying, well, actually, dieting can be really good fun. It can be enjoyable. You can eat nice, delicious, healthy food. You can still have some of the old food, but you just do it in moderation and so on. And I can overcome those objections and funnel them through to the website where they're already pre-sold, warmed up, thinking, well, actually, I'm quite interested in this. And you get them to click through. Now, when you're writing the email, you have to have a direct call to action. That's a call to action. Now, a call to action basically tells them what to do. So at the end of the email, you'd say again, you'd do something like, John, if you really want to get rid of that extra weight, then just click here now, and I'll show you how you can do it easily and enjoyably. And that's it. And the click here now would be a hyperlink through to my page, or I would have the web click here now, and I might do something like that, the URL, and that would basically get their attention, and that's telling them what to do. I've pre-sold them with the email, and then I said, right, you want to get rid of that extra, don't you, John? Click here now, and I'll show you how you can do it. And I give them the URL, and that's a call to action. It's getting their attention, and it's making them realise that they need to do something. Because otherwise, quite a lot of people will passively read the email, and that's it. They won't do anything. If you don't ask for the click and tell them what to do, a lot of people will not think of what they need to do. So I think it's very, very important that you do sit there and make sure you ask them for the click. Now, you can put multiple links in throughout your email. Just don't put too many in. If you put lots and lots of links in there, you're going to find that they're going to be put off. So you just do a couple depending on the length, maybe 3. And that way you've got their attention. Now, what you can also do, of course, is, as with any good sales letter, is you can put in a PS where you repeat one of your major points and perhaps give them the link again. So I might say, PS, John, this offer is seriously only valid for the next 48 hours, and I really don't want you to miss out on it, as it's never going to be repeated. That sort of thing. Click here now to take advantage of this deal. That sort of thing. So that's sort of what you do. You do something like that in a PS, and again that grabs attention and it tells people what they need to do. So, you know, writing an email isn't difficult. It's almost like writing a mini sales letter, except you're informing and educating instead of trying to sell. And I think that's one of the big differences that people don't quite realise, is an email isn't actually a sales letter. It's a pre-sales letter getting them to your sales letter so that you can sell to them. You're overcoming some of the common objections that they've got. You've got to think about, where do you normally build a list? Often a list is people that are interested in buying something, but they haven't bought it, so they're signed up to the list. So you need to pre-sell them, which means think about what objections they would have to buying, warm them up, overcome those objections, and really market what you want to them. And what you will find is it's going to really work for you. Now, when you send out your emails, most of these email companies will have stats for you that you can look at. So if you're setting up an autoresponder sequence, and you know, every couple of days they're going to get an email sent out, what you need to do is every few weeks check your autoresponder stats and see if on particular emails you have a high level of unsubscribes or a low open rate or whatever it might be. If you do find emails where you have a high unsubscribe rate or a low open rate, have a look at them and find out what you're doing wrong. There's something about that email people don't like. Likewise, if you find an email where you get an astronomical open rate and click-through rate, go and have a look, because you've done something right on it, and you may want to try and analyse that, work out what it is, so that you can then try it on other emails to boost your open rate. Ultimately, you make money by people opening your email and then clicking on your link. Only a percentage of your list will open your email, and only a percentage of them is going to actually click on the link. What percentage it is depends upon the relationship with your list, which is why that was one of the first things we covered. If you don't have a good relationship with your list, then you are going to struggle to make any money from them. You have to have that relationship, and you will find that the money will flow in a lot quicker. People with good relationships with their list can get open rates of 20, 30, 40% and more, because the list trusts them. I mean, on one of my lists where I email regularly, we've got a good relationship, they really know me, I can get open rates regularly of 25 and 30%. So it really is possible. So make sure you build that relationship up, and make sure you monitor and track your emails. By doing this sort of analysis of your emails, what you will do is you can increase your conversion rate, you can increase the amount of people you send through, you can make more money, and ultimately that's why you're here. By taking this little bit of an extra step, you can actually turn what is some extra money into a serious full-time income. If you're earning $100 a month from your email list, a 1% increase isn't going to make a big difference. Whoa, it's a whole dollar. But yeah, if you're earning tens of thousands of dollars, that 1% of increase is suddenly a lot of money. If you can take your open rate from 10 to 20%, you just doubled your income, you know, effectively, if you can get your click-through rate up. So just think about that when you're sitting there thinking, why do I need to do this? By making sure you pay attention to those stats, you can dramatically increase the amount of money that you make from your list. One of the best ways to get people onto your list is to funnel them through to a squeeze page. Now, a squeeze page is a method of capturing email addresses. What I'm going to do is talk to you about squeeze pages, about their design, and show you a few examples. Now, here is one. You see it's very compact, very small. It's designed for a much smaller screen than this. But again, it's very simple and it's very effective because you've got a bit of information and you've got the email capture form. Now, the thing with a squeeze page is the idea is you're focused on one thing. Get them to fill this form in and click submit. That's what you want at the end of the day. So you've got to design a page where all the information or most of the information is above the fold. That means viewable on the screen without scrolling on the scroll bars. You can see here there's no way I can scroll down. It's all above the fold. Now, you can have stuff below the fold, and we'll look at one of those in a bit. But the thing to have above the fold is this, the sign-up form. They need to be able to see this so that they can sign up to it. So what you want to do is you want to give them some compelling reasons why they have to sign up to your list. One thing you can do, of course, is offer them a free gift. You can detail the gift perhaps over here, a big headline to grab their attention, and then some information here to persuade them to sign up. And that's all you need. It doesn't have to be long and complex. It's not a huge sales letter or anything like that. You just literally want to grab their attention and get them to sign up. Once you've got them signed up, then you can market to them. This is another one. You can see this is a bit bigger. It's a bit more, it's going to grab your eyes. And you can see again, very similar. And you've got the opt-in box over here. So it all looks very pretty. And then over here, this is a longer form one. Now, the one issue with this that I have is that the autoresponder will go at the bottom here, which I think is a bit too far down. Personally, what I would do is over here on the right, I would have the sign-up box, or somewhere over here. Maybe here, you'd have a video or something, or the sign-up box. But again, you can see that it's a good-looking squeeze page and it grabs attention. And that's what you really need. You need to make sure that your squeeze page is something that people look at and go, wow, yeah, that's really good, and they want to know more. So there's a number of ways you can create squeeze pages. Now, obviously, you can create it by yourself using software if you know how to do it. There are squeeze page generators out there. There are people who will create squeeze pages for you. There are WordPress themes like OptimizePress, which you can also use to create squeeze pages, and so on. It's entirely up to you how you do it. It doesn't have to be graphical like this. Something like this page would be very simple to do in HTML or in WordPress. You could do it quite easily in WordPress if you wanted to. So it's up to you how you do it, but you need to make sure that it looks good and it works. So make sure you got the attention grabbing headline. Get their attention. Get them to want to know more. Get them to read a little bit about why they need to sign up to your list, what they're going to get. Offer them a bribe in exchange for signing up. Make sure that you get them to click down here and they click submit, and you've got them. And that's what you're after at the end of the day. If you can do that, your squeeze page is working. Now, what I would do is I would personally test my squeeze pages. I would have maybe 2 or 3 running at once, and I would test the 2 of them to make sure that I know exactly what's happening. So what I might do is I might find that squeeze page A with a slightly different headline performs better than squeeze page B. And what you can do, and we'll talk about this later on, is you can test them and find out which one works better, and then just keep improving them so you get a higher and higher conversion rate. With targeted traffic and a good squeeze page, it's not unheard of to get sign-up rates of 50 or 60%, and occasionally people have reported even higher sign-up rates. So massive amount of potential here for you. So make sure you create a good looking squeeze page however you decide to do it. But get a good one together and then start driving traffic to it and then work to improve it. You'll be quite surprised, I think, once you realise just how effective this is and how very quickly you can build a list. For many of the list building techniques we're going to talk about as you go through this video program, you will need a good squeeze page. So like I said, it's worth spending the money to get one designed and looks good if that's what you want to do, if you don't want to do it yourself. Get a really good looking squeeze page, and that's going to help you significantly in really bringing in the sign-ups, and that's obviously going to convert into cash in your pocket. So think about your squeeze page, think about what you want to write on it, think about what you can give away as a gift, and then set one up, start driving traffic to it, and just keep tweaking it to see if you can make it better and better so that the conversion rate is higher and you build a bigger and bigger list. Okay, so let's talk about how you set up a sign-up form. You've seen on the squeeze pages, you've got sign-up forms. How do you create one of those? Well, the good news is you don't need to sit and concern yourself with HTML and trying to code form tags and awkward things like that. Those days are long past. This is Aweber, and Aweber have a little wizard that will help create your forms for you. Now, they're very, very easy to do. They have an awful lot of templates, so you can see there's different templates for different sort of looks and feels depending on what you want. Let's go for a lucky cat template. There you are. And it comes in one colour. Let's load the template. There you are. I've just changed my template. I can go for real estate, for example. And what colours do I want? Let's have a look. Find one. I quite like that one. I can load the template, and you can see, bang, I've got a great looking template. Now, of course, I can do things like edit the header. So get your foreclosure list now, for example. I might put that in the header. How simple is that? I can change this. So I might want to say, right, I just want to capture their first name. I just want them to put their first name. I might want to change that to say best email. What's the best email address? But you can do other things as well. So I can put in a default value here. So I can put enter your best email address. And then what will happen is when someone clicks on it, that will disappear and they'll can enter their email address. So very, very simple. You see this again, I could do default value in there if I wanted to. So both of these are required. So you know, instantly this is very, very simple. Now I might want to take that bit out. I don't want that. I don't want that in there. There you are. That's looking a lot better. I might say, right, on the footer I want some text. I want to say your privacy will be both respected and ensured. There you are. I've created a form. It's simple, isn't it? It's absolutely simple. And I can change around this at the top. I can center it. I can do the same at the bottom here. Let's center that text. It's all point and click. It's very, very easy. And you can change borders, you can change colours, you can do all sorts of things. You've got advanced settings there, where you can do things, and so on. So we go to step 2, you give it a name. You can then choose a thank you page. I tend to send them to, well, it depends on what I want to do. I tend to send them to the smart video version, though sometimes I might send them to my sales page. So if they've signed up to my squeeze page, afterwards I'd want to send them to a custom page. So instead of them going to a page that says thank you for signing up, they'll go then through to perhaps my sales page or blog or something similar to that that's full of information that they want. So I'm just going to set that as a smart video version for now. Save the web form. I'm just going to, in fact, let me just put that in there so I don't get confused at some future time. We go to step 3. and it's time to install the form on your website. Now, careful now. This is going to be really difficult. I'm warning you. All you do is you copy that and paste it on your site. That's it. So if you're using WordPress, you copy that bit of script there. You can put it on your website in the sidebar or wherever you want your form to appear, and your form will appear there as if by magic. If you've got a web designer, you can email them and it will send them the details. We can have Aweber host the page for you, and you can just get people to go there instead. So realistically, it's incredibly simple. I mean, how easy is that to do? I've just created this sign up form in a matter of seconds. No skills required. I haven't touched any code. I've not messed around with any HTML. I've not done anything that you can't do. And this is the beauty of using sort of the big two autoresponders. This is how easy it is for you to create these sort of forms. And of course, something like that on a real estate site, on a squeeze page, it's going to grab attention. It looks good, and it's really going to help improve your conversion rate, quite obviously. So, you know, what you need to do is think about what you need on your forms. Now, obviously, you can customize these as much as you want. Now, that's a really pretty looking one, but I might want to say, well, actually, what I want is I want a much more basic one. I just want a very, very simple, basic one. There you are. That's name and email address. And I can take off that. I can take off the header. I can increase it in size. And there you are. I've got my new form. Brilliant, isn't it? And it's that easy to do. It's not complex. And once you've got one set up, then obviously you can put it on your squeeze page and you can start driving traffic to it. And remember, it's literally as easy as copying and pasting that code into the location where you want it to be. That's all you have to do. Now, depending on how clever you were when you sized it, you might have to come back here and resize it a couple of times to get it right. But you don't have to then go and repaste the code. Because the code points to Aweber, whenever you make a change here to that web form, it will change the web form wherever it is on your website. So you don't have to go back to your website and copy stuff back in. All you do is, if I make a change, you make a change here, and it will instantly reflect on your website when you update the page. So simple. That's how you create a sign-up form for your squeeze page. Split testing is very important if you want to maximize the sign-up rate from your squeeze page or sign-up form and really build your list quickly. Now, a lot of people are happy to throw up a squeeze page or a sign-up form and just leave it as is, and if they get people signing up, they get people signing up. If they don't, they don't. They don't really care. But the thing is, if you're doing that, you're potentially losing huge amounts of subscribers. Well-targeted squeeze pages can get sort of 50, 60 and even 70% conversion rates. So that means for every 100 people that go to your site, you could end up with as many as 70 of them signing up to your list. Now, if you haven't split test this and you've just put up any old squeeze page, your conversion rate could be as low as 5 or even as high as 10%. So you could end up with a very low sign-up rate, which means you build your list much, much slower. A lot of potential leads, a lot of money, and a lot of potential subscribers are leaving because you haven't optimized your site. It's very, very important to do this. Now, split testing is very, very easy to do. You need to split test different sign-up forms or squeeze pages. So you create 2 squeeze pages, one slightly different from the other. So you might change the headline, you might change the photo, you might change the position of the sign-up form, you might change the free gift that's offered, blah, 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 so on. You change one thing at a time, change each different thing, and then you drive traffic and you see what the result is. So changing more than one component at a time means you don't know what's worked. So if I change the headline, the picture, move the sign-up box, and I add a gift, which one of those 4 has actually resulted in a higher conversion rate? Could be any of them. It might be that one of them actually got the conversion rate up to 70%, but the other 3 changes dragged it back down again. I don't know. So this is why it's very important that you just change one thing at a time. So you compare, your existing one, and then I make a change on it, and I compare, and I drive traffic to both, and I see which works best. And that way I can really determine what is going to work and what's going to boost my conversion rates. And as you start to work this out, so you'll realize that in certain niches there are similarities in what boosts your conversion rates, and it will help you next time you set up a squeeze page or a sign up form to create a much better form out of the box. Rather than having to go through split testing right from the beginning, you've got a good sort of starter for 10 that you can go from. So basically, you change a component, you compare the two split pages. If one has a higher conversion rate than the other, you keep that one and discard the other. If the change makes the conversion rate worse, you drop that and you keep the original and make another change. Now, this isn't something that you're going to be able to do in, a day. It takes several weeks and even several months of careful tracking and calculation, which is why a lot of people don't bother doing it. But if you do this, then you can end up with a significant amount of people signing up to your list, much more so than people who are not doing the same thing. As you can see, it's not a complex process to do this, and because it takes a bit of time and a bit of effort, a lot of people don't bother. But the really successful marketers, the marketers that have the high sign-up rates, the marketers that have the bigger earnings online, they're the ones that take the time to do this, because it really does make a big difference. And then once you've made one change, you change something else, and it's an iterative process. You keep making the changes. You change one thing, drive traffic, change another thing, drive traffic, and you work out from that what works and what doesn't work. Now, it's very important that you drive pretty much the same amount of traffic for each test. So there's no good having one test with 10 people, next with 100, and the one after with 1,000, because they're not comparable. So you need to say, right, I'm going to have 500 visitors to my site. Let's see what happens. Now, under 100 isn't really statistically significant. Ideally, you want somewhere between 500 and 1,000. Closer to 1,000, the better, because then you've got a much better, a broader sample of people. 100 people isn't really enough for you to base your judgment on. When you've got 1,000, you've got a good proportion of people to the site, and you can go, yeah, I know this has produced this conversion rate. So just keep driving the traffic to it, make the changes, and you'll find that you'll get some good results from it. But remember, this is very important. You must not change more than one thing at once. If you try and do that, you try and change too many things, you're going to be unaware as to what has worked and what hasn't worked, which basically means you are not going to be able to improve your conversion rates. By doing this, by taking the time to do this split testing, you are going to be able to maximize your income. You're going to find from this you can really start to increase your sign-ups, and from that you'll be able to increase the size of your list and the amount of money that you make. And ultimately that's why you're building a list, so that you can make money. And through taking the time to do this split testing, you can massively increase the amount of money that you can earn from your list. Okay, one thing you can do to increase your sign-up rate significantly is to offer a free gift to your prospective list member. Now, outside of internet marketing, this works very well, as it does with internet marketing niches. And the reason being is, if you think about it, 10 years ago, nobody was really doing email marketing. So somebody asking for an email address was a bit of a novelty. You'd give your email address over, and you'd be well looked after. These days, with spam pretty much dominating the headlines repeatedly and inboxes being flooded with spam, people are a lot more careful about where they give their email address from. You speak to most internet marketers and are willing to bet that they have at least 2 or 3 email addresses, and they probably have one of those is a junk email address that they use to sign up for lists, if not 2 of them. So it's very rare for people to give a decent email address away to you. Now, that's within internet marketing. Outside of the internet marketing niche, people are a little less cautious, but even so, many of them are very hesitant about giving away a quality email address, i.e. one that they're actually going to look at and check. So how do you get it from them? Well, the easy way is you will offer them a gift. Now, come in here to somewhere like masterresellrights.com, you can find lots and lots of things that you can give away. Now if we go and have a look over here at the latest products, you can see there's various different things that we can use as giveaways. Now obviously we need to check the rights. So this one here is about technical challenges. So let's pick a subject. Let's say we've decided we are going to do something on dating, popular niche in internet marketing. So let's find what products are on the site for dating. So I can see there's quite a lot of books here. There's PLR. Right, so let's look for, let's sort by date. I want descending, I think. Let's have a look and find sort of the newest information, if you like. See what's been added recently. Right, that's a niche blog, data secrets, there you are. Let's have a look at this one. Let's see what the rights are. Now, obviously, not all of this is something that we can actually give away. A lot of these are going to have rights on that forbid us from giving it away. So if we look here, can be offered as a bonus. Right, now this has a teaser report in it, so this is quite interesting. This could be a good one. It has a teaser report that you can use. So this actually is ideal. This is a brilliant thing to give away for the dating niche. So what you can do is you give away the teaser report as the giveaway, and then it has a product on here that you can sell and keep the money. So that's your upsell. So basically what happens is they sign up to your list for the report, and then once they've confirmed their email address, they're shown this offer, this upsell, and then they buy that, hopefully. So okay, this looks quite good. This is a good example. And there's many more different products on here that we can find. So pretty much any niche that we're interested in, we can find products on. But you've always got to check the rights to make sure that you can give them away. If you can't, then there's plenty of articles on here. There's lots of article packs and things like that that you could use and put together a book from those. But the idea is that you find something that's got real world value. Giving away something that's basically poor quality or full of fluff isn't going to really work. What you're going to find is that people will subscribe, they'll get the report, they'll look at the report and think, this is just a waste of my time, and they're going to unsubscribe. The report is a direct reflection on yourself and the quality of the information that you are going to provide them. Provide them with quality information in the report, and they'll feel good about you and about the amount of information that you're going to give them. They're more likely to stay a list member. It's when somebody gets a report that's poor quality, they're going to feel instantly that they've been ripped off. They're going to unsubscribe, spam report you, all sorts of problems, and you don't want any of that. So there's plenty of different things you can do. You can try giving away quality gifts. You can try giving away different types of gifts. Does your niche want to see a video? Do they want to report? Do they want to, what is it they want? Understand the niche, and you're going to have a good idea about what you can then give people as a report. Now, like I said, there's plenty of inspiration and products here that you can use, but you may find that you can't find anything, in which case you can either go to somewhere like iWriter or Text Broker or Odesk, and you can hire somebody who will do it for you. They'll write a report for you, or of course you can write it yourself, and then you can use that as your giveaway, because of course you have full rights to it. My personal preference is I tend to look at half a dozen different PLR products, maybe a couple of master resale rights products. I get some ideas, put all the ideas together into a document, and then write a report from it, and that way I've got something very, very unique. What I also like to do is go to some of the popular forums in my niche, and I look at the common questions, the things that people are asking about, and I'll take some of that information, rewrite it, and include it in my report as well. So it's good quality information, it's answering the questions that they have, and it's going to really add a lot of value, I think, to the report that you give away. But if you can give away a quality report here, then you're going to get much higher sign-ups. If people are coming to your site and they're seeing something good, they're going to give their email address. And just look at any of the super successful people online. what do they offer to people to sign up? They offer bribes. So make sure you find a bribe that you can offer them, something that's good quality, has real world value, and you'll find that people will be willing to sign up to your list, give you a valid email address in exchange for that information. So that's how you can dramatically increase your conversion rate without having to do a lot of split testing. Add the split testing into it and you can find yourself having a significant increase in your conversion rates. It's not unknown for people to be able to get as high as 75%, sometimes occasionally higher, with people signing up to your list, and that makes a big difference in how quickly you can build your list and start building a full-time income from it. Okay, let's talk now about list building with Facebook. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Facebook, and you probably have one or maybe two accounts on it. Now, Facebook is a great way for you to build a list and get in contact with your people. The idea is eventually what happens is you have your Facebook people connecting with your Twitter, which is connected to your website, which is connected to your email, and it's all integrated together so that you can really get people to see your message. Because basically with Facebook, you've got to remember, a lot of people have Facebook on their phone, which means you post a message to their Facebook wall, or you post a message and it appears on their wall because they like your page, for example. It goes straight through and it appears on their phone and they can see it there. So it's a great way to really interact with them as well. Email tends to be quite a passive way of communicating. You send an email, it may or may not arrive, somebody reads it. That's it. With Facebook, you can have the interaction, and you can see as you go through, you see here, people are commenting on the messages. So people will leave something and they will put in comments and share it. So you can very quickly get yourself well known. So you can get your messages shared with other people. So if I make a post here, it will appear on my friends' walls. My friends' friends can then see it, and a lot of the times they may then go, well, hang on, I'm interested, and they'll come and find out more from my website or my Facebook page. Now, the thing to do here is you're going to want to set up a new Facebook account first of all. I know technically it's against their terms of service, but if you have a personal Facebook account, you don't want to be mixing business and pleasure. The reason being is this is my business Facebook account. I've got, I don't know, about 4,500 friends now. There's a lot of people on here, an awful lot of junk. Some of my friends are here as well, for some bizarre reason. And the issue is, a lot of the time, I can't see their messages. So if they're sending me a personal message or what's happening in their lives, I can't see it. So I've got my personal Facebook account, which is just my friends and family and people that I really like. And then my Facebook account here, this one, is my business one, which is all my internet marketing friends and business contacts and so on and so forth. And it's nice to keep things separate because you may post things on your personal one that may not be appropriate for your business. I know I've seen marketers who have posted things on their Facebook page that frankly, let's just say they made sure I'd never ever do business with them. Let's put it that way. And you know, it's not very professional to post certain things to your Facebook page. So keep them separate is a good idea, and then you can be highly professional with your Facebook account that's for business, and with your personal one you can do what you like because it doesn't really matter, only your friends and family see it. And it allows you to keep some privacy as well because your pictures and so on aren't being shared with hundreds and hundreds of strangers. So you set up a Facebook account. You can then do plenty of other things. You could create a group. You can set up a Facebook group for your niche. You could create a Facebook page. It doesn't really matter which ones you do. I mean, I have both pages and groups and I use them all. So I've got a Facebook account, and then I've got my Facebook group, and then on top of that I have my Facebook page. So I have people liking my page, I have people that I'm friends with, and I have people that are in my group. Now the group I tend to use for discussion. So if I want to talk to the niche, I'd use a group, and you can interact with them, you can really get to know them and build up a relationship with them in there. So that's very, very handy to really establish yourself as an expert in that niche. Now, a page is slightly more passive, but it still works very well. You can create a page, you can post information to it, you can share affiliate links, you can share product links, news, and so on, and encourage people, again, to interact. And best of all, if you've got a WordPress blog or something like that, you can use plugins so that it will automatically post to your Facebook group page for you. So it'll either go to your group or your page or your Facebook account. And you can set it so it says, hey, look, there's some new content on the website. And then it'll funnel people from your Facebook through to your website. And because it's appearing on the Facebook page, it will appear on people's walls. And same with if it posts in the group, it'll often appear on the wall as well, which means obviously they get notified and they'll go and have a look. You've got to remember, Facebook is very, very heavily built. And what you can do is you can funnel people then, and you can have your sign-up page. When you create a page, you can put a sign-up form on there. You can have it linking back to your website or your squeeze page, or you can send messages out to people and so on. There's a lot you can do here to build a list. But you've got to get away from the concept of just building a list on an autoresponder. Yeah, an autoresponder is a good list, but you build a list of friends, followers, fans, whatever you want to call them, on Facebook as well. And that gives you an awful lot of power, because you suddenly find yourself able to communicate with people in multiple manners. So they might miss your email, but they'll see your Facebook account. They might miss your Facebook post, but they'll see your email. They might be that they've subscribed to your email, but not your Facebook. They might be on Facebook, but not your email, and so on. So you're not just trying to funnel people into an autoresponder. You're trying to build lists within Facebook as well. And yes, you can funnel some of them through to an autoresponder, but you can post on the Facebook as well, and you can get them there, and you can really start to build a relationship with them. And with a lot of the autoresponders, they integrate with Facebook, so you can either post your whole message there or post an excerpt from your message onto Facebook as well. So there's an awful lot of integration that can go on here. In fact, with Aweber, you can even sign up with a Facebook account. So, you know, there's a lot of interesting things you can do with this if you start to explore it. But don't be obsessed with trying to funnel everyone through to your autoresponder account and email them. Interacting here is a very, very powerful way. Now, I can show you a group here, and you can see here we've got people posting questions. We've got here, you can see this is a post from my website. You can see here we've got more comments from people, another post from a website, another comment, interaction. You can see interaction. And you can see people are asking questions, I'm responding, other people are chipping in as well. So we're getting a lot of opportunities here to communicate with people. And every time I post something here, it of course appears on their wall and appears as a notification up here. So to be honest, this is a brilliant way for me to get in contact with people and interact with them, because most of these are on my list. And when they see my website, they go to my website, and there on my website is an autoresponder sign-up form offering them a free gift. So it's very, very powerful way for you to communicate with people. So I strongly recommend that you get yourself onto Facebook, you create a business account for your niche, whatever it might be, that you set up a page and a group, post regularly to them all, and integrate them with your website. And that way you are really starting to practice integration marketing, which means you're able to get hold of an awful lot more people, you can communicate with them better, and that's really, really going to help you to market to them. One of the best ways for you to build a list is through solo ads. Solo ads are where someone has an email list and they send out an email with just your advert in it to that list. The idea is that you send out a solo ad, people will then see the advert, they will click on the link in there and subscribe to your list. This is by far the best way for you to pick up subscribers. It's very, very cost effective, but before you even consider doing solo ads, you need to have a high quality squeeze page. You need a decent quality squeeze page where you can attract people and make sure that it has a high conversion rate. You don't want to send people to a poor quality squeeze page because you're wasting your money on your advert. If you could get 70% people signing up compared to 10%, why would you throw away 60% of those people? You know, make sure that you've tested your squeeze page before you start buying solo ads, or you can use solo ads to test it. It depends upon how much money you have and how you want to approach this. But you've got to get a high quality squeeze page. Once you've got a high quality squeeze page that's proven to convert, then you are in a position where you are ready to start driving traffic to it. You've got to find some solo ad providers. Now, there's plenty of people out there. If you're in the internet marketing niche, go onto the Warrior Forum. You'll find plenty of people there who are willing to basically swap ads with you or sell you solo ads. Now, you can get some very good solo ads from some marketers with some quite big lists. So obviously that is a bit of a benefit. What you want to know when you're looking for solo ads is you want to know the average sort of number of clicks you can expect. So if you're spending $100, are you going to get a decent amount of clicks through it? You know, how much are you paying per click effectively? And you've got to be able to know that the niche is targeted, because there's no point you buying a solo ad from someone with a list full of junk email addresses. You want some sort of guarantee, and you want a guarantee where they'll say, right, I guarantee you a minimum of 100 clicks, and you can hold them to that. Then there's obviously a money back guarantee if they don't deliver. So find solo ad providers that are in your niche. You can Google them. You can go to approach forum owners. If someone owns a forum in your niche, you can approach them and say, hey, look, let's can I send a solo ad to your subscribers for you? I'll pay you money for it. And more than likely, they will accept. There's lots and lots of people as well with various niches selling solo ads on the Warrior Forum as well. But you need to get yourself a quality email. You want a good quality email that's well written, that is focused on the click. What you're focusing isn't selling them anything. You want them to click on that link in that email and go through to your squeeze page where they're ready to sign up. Now, if you don't feel comfortable writing this yourself, then I'd recommend hiring somebody. I would go on to somewhere like iWriter. I would hire an elite writer, which is the best there is, and I'd get them to write me a sort of 700 word email, or 500 to 700 word email. It'll cost me $10 to $15, but it'll be a very, very quality email that I know will do well. Now, if I wasn't confident writing this email, then that's what I would do, because obviously that is going to get me the better conversion rate. You've got to make sure that the email is opened. You want people to click on the link, and then obviously you want them to convert on your squeeze page too. Once you've got your email, you've got your squeeze page, you're ready to go. You buy a solo ad. Most cases it's very simple. You send some money, you send the email, the subject line, email goes out, you then get your clicks and your sign-ups. It's very, very simple. But what you want to do is you want to monitor the number of clicks and the number of sign-ups. So either you would send them to a specific list, or you would just make sure you are able to use some sort of tracking tag or something where you can see how many clicks. Now, Aweber allows you to see the number of clicks that come through. You can use tracking tags, anything like that that's going to help you to know how your solo ads perform. Because the problem is if you're spending a couple of $100 on solo ads and you buy 3 or 4 ads, which one of those adverts has performed? Maybe none of them's performed. Maybe one's done really well. If one's done well and you've only sent something to a segment of that person's list, then obviously you really want to send more emails out because it's proven to convert. So make sure you are able to track the number of clicks from different adverts and the number of sign-ups from the different adverts, because that way you're going to be in a position to know what is working and what isn't working. And if you can't tell what isn't working, then you're wasting your money with your solo ads, because you don't know which solo ads are performing and how well they're performing. If I just buy a solo ad and send it straight to, and send traffic, how do I know whether that solo ad's done anything? I might see that I've got 30 new sign-ups. Have they come from the solo ad, or have they come from something else? You just don't know. So you need to make sure that you are thoroughly aware of how many clicks you're getting and how many sign-ups. Particularly if you've bought a package that says, here's 100 clicks. You want to make sure that you've got your 100 clicks. If you end up just getting 10 clicks from it, you've got good cause to go back and say, look, this hasn't worked. I want a remailing or my money back. and you can sort of approach them like that. But most cases, they will deliver what they say. So once you've found an advert that works, once you've got a quality squeeze page, you start buying solo ads. You can either keep going with the same people if they've got large lists and you can mail to segments at a time, or you can go and find other sources of adverts where you can build your list. Now, if you spend the money on list building, you can very, very quickly build a large list. Now, the thing is here is what you can do as well is once people have gone through your squeeze page, you can then present them with a one-time offer. If it's a decent quality offer at a decent price, you'll get a reasonable conversion rate. The advantage of that is that you very quickly make the money back that you spent on the solo ads. So if I spent $100 on solo ads and I make $150 from my one-time offer, I'm $50 up. If I only make $70, I've only lost $30, but I'll make that back from my list. Now, the thing to make this work, though, is you've got to have the sales funnel in place in your list. If you're just sending them to a list that you're then not going to really use, again, you're wasting your money. What you need to do is you need to have an autoresponder list that is proven to work. So you want to set up a sequence of messages that sell them products, build relationships with them, and so on. Because if you can do that, what you will end up doing is you'll find that you will very quickly make the money back and be in profit. If you just send them and build a list and then you're not really working with a list, again, you're wasting your money. It's very, very important for you that you spend the time to get everything right. So you've got to get your squeeze page right. You've got to have your email that you're sending out as your solo ad. You've got to have your autoresponder sequence in place. Once you've got all that done, you can profit seriously from solo ads. All you need to do is concentrate on the front end, driving people to your list, and then or to your squeeze page through solo ads or whatever it might be, and then the sales funnel takes care of the rest. So people come in, they subscribe, and then the autoresponder sequence builds a relationship for you, and it markets to them. And that way you're pretty much earning your income, and all you need to worry about is just funneling people into that autoresponder, and everything else is automated and pretty much takes care of itself. That's the ideal way you want to do this. But don't go sort of throw money at solo ads unless you have that autoresponder sequence, the email, and the squeeze page in place. Once you've got those in place, a solo ad is an incredibly powerful way to build a list and really start to kickstart your internet marketing profits.